Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, I'm really glad you clicked on this video. Today we're talking about Wonder Man, one of Marvel's most talked about and intriguing upcoming projects. Not because it's packed with explosions or massive crossover hype, but because it feels different. And honestly, that difference is exactly why people are paying attention. At first glance, Wonder Man might sound like just another superhero story. But once you dig a little deeper, you realize this one isn't trying to follow the usual Marvel formula. At its heart, Wonder Man is about identity, ambition, and what happens when someone is chasing fame just as much as they're discovering power. And that combination alone raises an interesting question. What happens when being a hero and being seen as a hero aren't the same thing? The character at the center of it all is Simon Williams. In the Marvel Universe, he's known as Wonder Man, a superpowered individual with immense strength, durability, and energy-based abilities. But unlike many heroes who stumble into greatness or feel called to save the world, Simon's journey has always been complicated. He wants recognition. He wants success. He wants to matter. And those desires don't magically disappear just because he gets powers. What makes this version of Wonder Man especially fascinating is its setting. Instead of starting with secret labs or cosmic battles, the story leans heavily into Hollywood. Simon is portrayed as a struggling actor trying to make it in an industry that's brutal, competitive, and obsessed with image. That alone makes the show feel relatable. How many people out there are chasing dreams in industries that constantly tell them they're not enough? And here's where things get really interesting. Imagine discovering you have real superpowers while living in a world that already creates fictional superheroes for entertainment. How do you separate who you really are from the roles people expect you to play? Would you want to save lives quietly, or would you want the spotlight that comes with it? And if fame comes easily, does it make heroism feel less meaningful? The show also leans into a more self-aware tone. It's not afraid to poke fun at superhero culture, celebrity obsession, and even Marvel itself. Instead of pretending superheroes exist in a vacuum, Wonder Man acknowledges the audience. It understands that people are tired of the same stories being told the same way. And that opens the door to something refreshing, a superhero story that questions its own existence. Another layer that makes this project stand out is the emotional angle. Simon Williams isn't portrayed as a perfect, morally pure character. He's flawed. He struggles with insecurity, ego, and the pressure to prove himself. And honestly, that might make him one of the most human characters Marvel has introduced in a while. Because let's be real. If most people suddenly gained incredible power, wouldn't there be at least a little temptation to use it for validation? There's also the theme of legacy and expectations. Simon exists in a world filled with larger-than-life heroes, and that shadow looms over him. How do you define yourself when others have already set the standard? Is being different a weakness, or is it the very thing that makes you valuable? These questions quietly sit beneath the surface of Wonder Man's story, and they're the kind that stick with you after the episode ends. Something else worth thinking about is Marvel's current position. The franchise has reached a point where audiences are more critical, more selective, and more honest about what they enjoy. Wonder Man feels like Marvel acknowledging that reality. Instead of trying to be louder, it tries to be smarter. Instead of bigger stakes, it leans into personal ones. And that shift could either be exactly what the MCU needs, or something that divides fans even further. And that brings up a thought-provoking question for you. Do you want superhero stories to keep escalating in scale, or would you rather see smaller, character-driven stories that explore psychology, fame, and purpose? Because Wonder Man seems to be betting on the second option. The supporting characters also play an important role in shaping the tone. With familiar faces returning from earlier Marvel projects and new characters added into the mix, the show blends humor, commentary, and emotional grounding. There's a sense that Wonder Man isn't just about powers, it's about perception. How others see you, how you see yourself, and how quickly those two can fall out of sync. At its core, Wonder Man asks something pretty bold. If superheroes existed in a world obsessed with entertainment, would they be heroes or products? And if you had the chance to become both, which one would you choose? This is why Wonder Man feels like a risk, but a necessary one. It doesn't rely solely on nostalgia or spectacle. It invites reflection, it challenges expectations, and it dares to ask uncomfortable questions about fame, ambition, and authenticity in a world that rewards performance more than sincerity. So now I want to hear from you. Does Wonder Man sound like a fresh direction for Marvel, or do you prefer more traditional superhero storytelling? Are you excited about a self-aware, Hollywood-focused superhero series, or do you think Marvel should stick to what it knows best? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I really enjoy reading them and seeing different perspectives. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it. It helps the channel more than you might think. Share it with a friend who loves Marvel or is curious about where the MCU is heading next. And make sure you subscribe so you don't miss future videos where we break down trending shows, characters, and the deeper ideas behind them. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.